Hello. I hope you are all absolutely wonderful. And I hope my mic is not muted and nothing is wrong and everything is working because, you know, it's after TwitchCon. And if I learned anything from TwitchCon, it's about how professional your stream is makes absolutely no difference. So I guess my constant failures are just completely fine. But anyways, I hope everybody is wonderful. For those of you that you have never been here before, this is the Stream Key After Dark podcast. How this works is we talk about a topic, start the show off. This one is going to be lengthy. And then we take viewer questions and call-ins as well. I already see people talking about the God Complex thing. We are going to touch on that and go into that in great depth. But for all of you that don't know, my wonderful co-host, MissFatalKisses and or Kass, as you'll hear me call her all night long. Kass, how was your long week away from the podcast?
It was sad, actually. It was really sad. I missed you guys.
So I want you all to know, by the way, we were going to do an episode last Wednesday, and I last minute bailed on it, mostly because my internet was broken, but partially because I wanted to sleep before my long flight to TwitchCon. So don't blame Kass, even though I've been blaming her all week. It's my fault. I'm
kidding. You can blame me. It's fine.
Kidding. I never blamed Kass. Kind of, a little bit.
Did you blame me?
Okay. All right.
That's cool.
So anyway, for those of you that don't know, Kass unfortunately couldn't attend TwitchCon this year. I did attend TwitchCon this year, hence why my voice is still a little harsh. There was a lot of yelling, and a lot of extracurricular adult activities occurred at this event as well. But it was a lot of fun. So what has been up with you all week, Kass? What are we streaming? What are we doing?
I'm just on that Forza grind. I'm playing a lot of Forza. I'm trying to think of what other racing games I can maybe start incorporating into my streams. Started playing Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Gonna hopefully get to Shadow of the Tomb Raider soon, so that's kind of exciting.
Shadow, the new one?
Mostly, yeah, the new one, yeah. But mostly I've just been TwitchConning from afar. So like, you know, I haven't physically been there with you guys, but TwitchCon is actually very valuable even if you aren't at TwitchCon because everything is streamed and everything is tweeted. So I still felt very much in the loop even though I wasn't there. So it was great. I missed you guys. I really wanted to be there and I was so happy for everybody having so much fun and
it was
meeting each other.
You're absolutely forced to go next year. I don't care if we have to go fund me it in an uncomfortable way. We're making it happen. I mean, I don't even know where to start. It was absolutely mind-blowingly awesome. And I'm not saying it to like make people jealous or anything like that. Like if you ever get an opportunity and you are part of this platform, whether you're a streamer or a viewer or a mod or whatever, go to TwitchCon. And everybody cries, and the loudest tweets are always the ones crying about everything, hence why the said dude on the panel blew up. But like LineCon 2018 was the big thing on Friday. Yes, they botched it just a little bit, but that's what happens when you roll out of bed at 11 o'clock and decide to show up. Just saying, we were there at 7:30, in the door at 9:15. Throwing it out there, and the only reason I say that, you couldn't pick up your badges till 8, and the doors weren't supposed to open till 10. We actually ended up in early. But like everything else,
PAX too.
Yeah. Ooh, I heard PAX is even worse.
You get there early; it's not a problem.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing. But that's with most things. While we say all this and we were late tonight, but anyway, thankfully I don't have to wait in line to get on Twitch. But seriously, it's just go if you can ever go. Just as a viewer. Honestly, I probably spent more time as a viewer than I did as a streamer for the most part while I was there. Because it was my first one, so it was like the experience of everything and then meeting people that I've watched for years on Twitch. So I fangirled pretty hard for a few.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Before you went to TwitchCon, we kind of discussed TwitchCon and its benefits as a streamer to go, and we were both kind of on the same page. Has your opinion changed now that you've been there? Do you think that it is beneficial? And because it was your first time going, so what do you think?
So yes and no. It's really so yeah. No, it hasn't changed. So it's very cool. So for those of you that don't know what our opinions were, it was pretty much that TwitchCon is a great way to go meet everybody, you know, in IRL and hang out and see all the cool Twitch stuff, you know, up close and personal. But in a networking perspective, it's really not, you know, a huge game. And I literally proved this by accident. Day one, TwitchCon, we were in the front row. Well, the affiliate front row, I kept calling it, because the whole first block, the whole first block is for partners. You can't even get near it, even though we were first in the door. But whatever. So I ended up, I had I had this exact outfit with the exception of the hat, because I can't find my other hat on, including this shirt. And I ended up on the big screen during the keynote. And in my typical, you know, America fashion, I acted like a typical K-Kona guy. And, well, DJ Wheat takes that picture from the panels in the back and says how Twitch is a real-life emo, or the keynote is a real-life emo, or something along those lines. For those of you who don't know who DJ Wheat is, he's the creative director for Twitch. So he's a pretty big name. So he tweets that picture out, and then I run into Greek God on the floor a few hours later, and he starts yelling while he's streaming to 30,000 people, "Hi, I'm the real life K-Kona guy," and he's zooming in on my name and yelling, "Hell yeah, brother," at the top of his lungs. You know what I gained out of all of this? Nothing. Zero. My 10 seconds of Twitch clout didn't mean anything at TwitchCon. That was my point sent home. Greek God streamed my name in front of 30,000 people, literally slamming the camera into my badge. And I gained maybe 2 followers, and who knows if they came from that or anything else. And I haven't had a single person be like, "Hey, came from Greek Stream. Hey, saw your tweet," with the exception of the people that are already part of the community that know about it and whatever. So was it a really cool experience to have those things happen? Absolutely. It was wild. Absolutely surreal. Did it mean anything? No.
Yeah.
So no, my opinion hasn't changed. I don't think that it's fun to network IRL, and it's really cool to meet people and talk to them, but I don't think it had any benefit in the networking aspect of it. To go to the panels, first one to admit that I was stupid and I was so caught up in TwitchCon, I didn't go to any of the panels, which I highly regret after. Yeah, I know. I see your face.
You didn't go to one?
Not a single one. I went to the keynote. All I cared about, I said it though when I went there, all I cared about was the keynote and meeting Tim the Tap Man. I successfully did both of those things. So I had a successful TwitchCon. My feet still hurt. But it's, I don't know. It was crazy. It's chaos. It's pure chaos for 3 days. I don't even know. There's so many things we have to like touch on about TwitchCon. And the best part is like nothing I'm saying, 99% of it was streamed, like Kass said. So you didn't have to be there to experience TwitchCon. It's just really cool to experience in person. It's also really, really irritating at sometimes to experience it in person, because there is nowhere to sit. There is nowhere to move. There is no easy in and out. There's no easy transportation. I mean, there's a lot of the downsides of them, and they're not enough to deter you from going, and that's not my point. It's just don't think that it's all glam and glamour. I think I slept 5 hours in 3 days, too, on top of everything else. So you come home, and it's like you got hit by a truck. But it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to ask you that. I've been meaning to, just because both of us having not ever been to TwitchCon before, having kind of the same opinion, I was just curious if your opinion would have changed at all after having gone.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same. And I mean, I lucked out with everything the way it happened and everything, but it was really cool for the way it happened, for it to not actually mean a thing. It kind of just solidified that point that I mean, Greek is huge. Even if you don't like his content, majority of people know who Greek God is. The guy streams.
I don't know who it is.
He's a IRL variety streamer, but he's very, I don't know, he's very outspoken, very Tyler One-ish. But anyway, the long and short of it is he streams to 30,000 plus people every time he goes live, including his IRL streams at TwitchCon. And 30,000 people saw my name and didn't mean shit. So networking is it's not about FaceTime. It is not about that kind of exposure. We talk about this all the time. Like a raid from Ninja is cool. You'll get 100,000 people in your stream. You'll get a bunch of follows and a bunch of Prime subs because I always see that kind of stuff happen. But 90% of the time when I see somebody that's been rated by Ninja, especially when it's like an affiliate or whatever that maybe is at 10 or 15 viewers, they're at that same average viewership the next night.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't bolster. It's cool. It's great exposure for 10 seconds, and maybe 1 or 2 people can capitalize out of everybody, but I don't really see much coming out of it.
Okay. What about like other like affiliated streamers? Like, did you get to network with streamers that you hadn't met before or you hadn't ever talked to before or known of?
So,
like that maybe now you'll find them in your host list, you know, maybe auto hosting or rating them or whatever.
So it was funny. So I'm a big proprietor of like, people were really cool and I will host the people if I like their content. So it's kind of like the digging game of trying to find stuff. Also, the hot take on my business cards, I think I came home with maybe 2 or 3, just saying. And one of those was a Twitch employee card that obviously I wasn't going to get rid of. But
yeah,
it really, in my opinion, with that aspect, like, it was really cool. I met a lot of people that I hate to say already know because it's kind of weird, but you know through this, through Twitch or True or whatever. I met a lot of people in that aspect. I met a lot of people that I've networked with before. I've met a few new people that I do follow now and stuff like that. People that I probably would host. People that I stayed with that were complete strangers prior to this, which was weird all on its own. But
yeah,
there was honestly the most networking I had with another affiliate that I wasn't either staying with or randomly at TwitchCon was at the airport. I ran into a girl as we were leaving and boarding our flight, and we were just going back and forth. She had the Discord pillow from the Discord party, and we were making jokes about how long the line was for the Discord party and how big of a fail it was. And then we just got to bullshitting for a while, and at that point I was like, oh, what's your name on Twitch? You know what I mean? Nowhere in the conversation did she just like throw a business card at me or anything like that. Like, I think I had told you, I was on the plane on the way there, and we had literally just boarded the plane, and I heard the people in front of me talking about TwitchCon or whatever, and I heard the guy say something about being the oldest streamer at Twitch, and this kid was young, and I was like, no, I really don't think you're wrapping your head around this. And he's like, no, her. And I can't remember her name now, but she was like some 55-year-old woman from Florida who streams cooking. And before I knew any of this information, they literally just turned to me and they're like, oh, you're going to TwitchCon? She's like, here's a business card. I was like, the first thing you do is throw a business card at me?
You told me about that.
Yeah, like, you don't even introduce yourself. You literally, like, that was my whole thing with business cards. I was like, just get out of here. Like, the merch line, we were in the merch line, which was obnoxious, but we were waiting in the merch line, and there was some dude just walking along the merch line, handing business cards out. And, like, I respect your hustle. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, see, that's perfect. Kind of like follow for follow. Exactly. It is just as bad as follow for follow. You throwing your business card at me doesn't mean anything. I asked her what her name was, and I was like, do you have a card? Just because it's easier. I'm not going to pull my phone out and all that nonsense, especially in the airport. So that was the only time I genuinely wanted a business card from somebody, because I had sat and I had talked to her. I had a 25-minute conversation before we even got into, hey, what's your Twitch name? Like, obviously we were talking about Twitch stuff and TwitchCon and like, what do you stream, that kind of stuff, but it was just a normal interaction, I felt like. And that was probably the only real networking I did the entire weekend. Like, real deal, actual Twitch networking where, like, it garners me going to see somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm trying to think of, like, where to even start on TwitchCon, because it was just like there's so many things to talk about. So many things. There were so many controversial things that happened this weekend. So many absolutely awesome things coming to the platform.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe Keynote, start with Keynote and kind of go from there. since it's the beginning
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So, for those of you that didn't watch the keynote, which I don't think anybody here either didn't watch it or at least see the updates on what's going on with the keynote, the very first thing they announced was Squad Stream, which we have talked about this before. Mixer's only real appeal to people on Twitch that play competitively or play with their friends is the fact that they have multi-stream. And now Twitch, 2 years behind the ball, typical fashion, is dropping Squad Stream. So for those of you that don't know how it looks yet, it's set up into 1 to 4 players. You can all link your streams together, and I actually like how they did it over Mixer, because you can click on, so it'll show you the 4 screens. So let's say it's me, Kass, 2 other people. So whatever person you go into first, you're focused on that one, and then there's 3 little screens on the right. And then the chat is on the right. It's whatever the main focus screen is. So now I click on Kass's. Boom, Kass's video goes full screen. I can get into her chat, back and forth, whatever. And they even did it on mobile. So, like,
That'll
I just
probably
saw...
be broken.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But I just saw somebody say how it doesn't merge chat, which I don't, which I kind of dislike, since the communities won't exactly be mixing. The reason a lot of people don't use it on Mixer is that exact reason. So if I'm a huge diehard Kass fan, okay, and then Kass decides to play with me, I don't really like this guy. He's kind of over the top. He's red, white, and blue and yelling and acting like a fool. And Kass is very chill and relaxed, and her community reflects that. Just like my community reflects my upbeat and wildness, and K-Kona in the chat every 10 seconds now. Thanks. But that kind of stuff. Now, me as a user, I don't want to see the crap from SnoopHog's chat because it's not my style. I don't want to deal with that. I want to watch Kass, and I'm being not forced. Well, actually, I don't even know how that's going to work. I don't know if they're automatically going to make people watch it or not. But if they do, I don't want to be forced in her chat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might want to check it out and then be done with it and go back to my normal chat. And that's my whole thing. And then maybe if Kass is dead, and while she's dead, she jumps up from the chair and goes AFK, now I'll click on Snoop's stream, or I'll click on, you know, Twinkle Talks? I'm blind. I'll click on Twinkie's stream. You know, it just the jump back and forth. That was the one thing I was a little... I kind of said the same thing when they first announced it. I was like, wow, they didn't integrate the chats. I was like, oof.
Right.
But then I thought about it, and I was like, it's pretty cool that they're giving you the option. I wonder if they'll integrate it later on. But I don't know, Kass, what do you think about squad streams?
I think it's awesome, especially since we were just talking. We're literally just talking about how Twitch needed something like this. So it's obviously something they've been working on. They've heard everybody, you know, saying that we want this. I don't know if it's gonna make me want to co-stream more often because I'm not a fan of the idea overall, but I think it's great. The chat thing, there should be an option to merge. Well, because it's kind of weird, right? If you have some people merging their chats, I guess if it's up to the streamers to have their chats merged or not, I don't know.
See, I think it's, I feel like it's going to be tough. It's got to be one way or the other, right?
Right. And I see the appeal of both having them separate and having them together. So I don't know. That's tricky. I think I have a feeling that kind of be split down the middle between users wanting them either put together or separate. But I think it's great. I think it's beautiful and clean. And
it'll be so broken.
Did you just mention how the viewership is going to work?
No, I was gonna say I don't think they really talked about that, did they?
Not that I heard.
Yeah, and I didn't. So that's the other thing I failed on. There's a whole educational area, but I should have just walked up there and asked, because that was the one main thing I should have asked. I don't know how it's going to work for viewership. Is viewership going to be shared? Or is it only going to be the person that's in focus? Or is it going to be how you got there? I just wonder. I don't know. I wonder how that would work. It'll be interesting to see, analytic wise, how it goes. Because that might deter some people too. Or it could also see, I don't know if they're gonna, I think it's gonna be individual viewership. And the only reason I say that, and like whoever's in the focus, that's my guess. Because I think it's just UA4. I don't know. She seems fine on my end. I don't know if she's out of sync. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. I got sidetracked. So it's going to create that. It's going to reinvent the problem that they got rid of with the host and the raids. Because now, all right, let's say I'm partnered and I'm at 200 viewers, and now I have a buddy who's at 10, and I'm just going to co-stream with him for 3 weeks. And if our viewership shares, then he's going to get partnered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's tough. I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That is tricky.
Because it kind of
You
just
could
walks
literally just
back their whole
co-stream with
thing.
someone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Their big fight to stop the host and raid thing to not count towards your analytics, then I wonder how they do this. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
The squads
It's
was a
great,
big
though.
one. Yeah, I really enjoyed squads. So I'm going to forget some, by the way, because I know I am, because I'm fried and there was so much information. But I'm just thinking of the ones that really stuck out to me, unless you can think of other ones.
I have the keynote up, so I'm looking at it.
So I know they started with squads. I'm trying to think of like the order they went in, and I don't really remember. Because I remember...
so we have the highlight editor updates.
That's... I mean, we could talk about it.
I don't really benefit from that. I don't make like YouTube videos or highlight videos.
It is, from what it looked like, it looked really clean and polished. Like, takes away the need for third-party software.
Okay.
Which will be huge for people that just want to create content on a free platform.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't really know much about it. It's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I'm not a YouTube guy either, so
yeah,
I barely save my clips and upload them because it's a lot of work. I know that. And then what else for creators? Was there anything else?
Well, this is something that we spoke of recently. There's a new featured section on the Twitch homepage that's going to feature up and coming streamers, which we were recently talking about. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they had touched on that more. I guess they're going to expand that. So essentially, they're going to make it even better and push more and more, up and coming streamers. Whether it be like they have a section for new and up and coming partners, and then they're going to push the, up and coming affiliates and stuff like that. And it's going to be very catered to your viewing history, almost like a Google or a YouTube or anything like that, like with recommended videos.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know why they included that in creator, because I guess it is and it isn't. I don't know. But yeah, so then didn't they move on to... Oh, okay. Didn't they move on to the community thing? This was my next big thing that I loved, so I pulled up the keynote list so I'd remember. VIP badges. So I don't know about everyone else, but for me, VIP badges are huge because I'm a hardcore person that feels that there should be some kind of recognition. But what do you think, Kass? Because I see your face.
Okay, so when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, this is really cool because, like, I don't know, the people that are around a lot, I would love to just like drop them a VIP badge. Like, hey, thank you for always being here or always hanging out. But then I started to quickly think about the conflict that might come with the VIP badge because when popcorn emotes, oh my God. So when you pick someone to be your moderator, they're kind of like, I don't know, it's like your decision. You're like, hey, I trust you to help mod my stream. Here we go. And it just is what it is, right? But VIP is more of like, I feel like it could be seen as you're picking favorites and you're handing out this VIP badge based on people who, like, I don't know, maybe someone can't come to your stream every day because they have work, but they're still really supportive and would love to be there if they could. So why is it not fair? Why is it fair that someone else that just, has a different work schedule can be around more and get a VIP badge and then this person doesn't get a VIP badge? I see conflict. I see conflict and it worries me. So one thing that actually A4 mentioned when I was discussing this earlier, and he had kind of mentioned using your bot in chat that tracks how many hours people are in your stream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe resetting that every month, and whoever has the most hours in your stream for the month gets, like, I don't know, maybe the top 5 people with the most hours at the end of the month get the VIP badge for the following month or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and then the hours reset every month or something like that. Some fair way to like
So I don't
give out
know.
VIP badges.
Can you remove an ad and remove an ad? Is that a thing? Is that an option? I didn't really see anything too deep about it.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have like a whole management console now. As a streamer, you're
I
gonna
saw
have
that.
like that page that's gonna help you see who's all a moderator or a VIP, or I don't know if it goes down to like subscriber badges or bit
Mm-hmm.
badges. I have no idea, but I'm assuming in that spot is where you'll be able to
Yeah.
manage that kind of thing.
So I get your point with it
Okay.
in that
How
sense,
are you
and
gonna
that
work with
makes
it?
sense. So my thing is like, so for those of you that have been to my stream, you know Lit is a moderator in my stream, only in title. Play a lot with Lit. I always, chat with Lit, whatever. And it was kind of a status thing because they didn't have anything else to make somebody really pop out. I don't ever expect him to moderate my chat. He openly admits he'd be a bad moderator. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. It's like, I've always looked at it, and like you see it in a lot of the big streams. So let's get away from like this end of it and think like higher end, like Tim and Ninja and those guys. All the big partner streamers they play with are all mods in their chats. And the only reason
Yeah.
they have that is so they stick out. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a way of making people stick out without giving them some kind of an ability to really screw with your chat at any point. Even if it's just a joke or, the timeout of somebody, whatever the case is. So I really think
So,
that, good.
I mean, so then in that case, do you think maybe VIP badges are more beneficial for larger streamers and maybe not so much for someone, I don't know, like me who averages like 35, 40 viewers?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
do you
I
think?
mean, I don't. So with the amount you're going to be able to unlock from what it's sounding like, I don't think it's going to really
Yeah.
mean much in our
Yeah.
kind of places because we can just VIP everybody that's in there all the time. Because you
Yeah.
gain them like crazy from what it sounds like. It's a very easy
Okay.
way to gain, if I
Okay.
remember right. Hold on, where is it? Creators earn 10 badges when they complete 50 followers and 5 unique
For the
chatters in a stream,
achievements.
and can earn up to
Okay.
100 badges as their community grows.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have 100 regulars that I could give the badge to if I wanted to. Um,
Yeah.
but I think, yeah, like you
Same.
said, a lot of it goes into bigger streamers. And like I had sent you something earlier about partner streamers. So Hassan, who's the partner director or whatever for Twitch, he's like the big name at Twitch that deals with partners. He tweeted out how
Mm.
partners that have hit over
Oh yeah.
10,000 sub points get 10 extra emotes. And like we were talking back and forth about how it affects like almost nobody. There's
Yeah.
only, he tweeted out there's roughly 80 streamers, 80
That applies to.
that applies to. But you
Yeah.
got to remember, everything they do on this platform is for their top tier people for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
For the most
Mm-hmm.
part, because that's where your money is. So you want to keep those people
Mm-hmm.
happy, and if we get the trickle down effect, then it's great. And that's always kind of my opinion on it. The affiliate
Yeah.
program, don't get the affiliate program confused, because people always think that it was Twitch's way of like recognizing smaller creators. No, it was not. It was Twitch's way of knowing, oh, I could make even more money.
Yeah.
Because all these affiliates are out here, well, before they were affiliates, they're all out here making money hand over fist in their pockets, and we're not getting a cut because they're using PayPal.
Yeah.
Because that's all it was. Everybody did donations.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a sub button, you got donations. And
Mm-hmm.
donations were direct cut. Twitch actually undercut all these content creators, and they didn't even realize it. They said, oh, awesome. Thanks. We get 3 emotes. But, I mean, it's just, it's a crazy way to look at it. But everybody always forgets that. Like, it wasn't some kind of big honor for people to get affiliate. It was Twitch making more money.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
business
for
move.
sure.
But everything like applies to the bigger streamers. Now, with that said, the next thing, which is huge, and I instantly thought of a handful of people as soon as they announced it, was the new moderator tools in chat.
Ooh.
Now, this isn't something that is completely unheard of. It's just now native to the platform. So for those of you that don't
Yeah.
know what it is, it allows you to keep track of a user's account. How many times the user's been banned, how many times they've been timed out, how many messages they've sent in the chat. And now mods can leave comments for other mods to see. So let's use two mods I know for a fact are in here, True and A4. Let's say they're both in a
Mhm.
chat, and let's say they're both in Kass's stream, and they both know this person, whatever. Then A4 has to leave and go do something. Then this guy acts up again. Well, now True times him out for 10 hours or whatever. Now A4 comes back the next day and True's not there. A4 has no idea this kid's been timed out, and he does the same stupid stuff again the next day. Well, now he can look back and see A4 either just see the number for the timeout or the ban, and then you can turn around and see a note left for it like, oh, hey, this kid, said something stupid and I timed him out because it was the first time I saw him do it. Whatever. The point is that you can leave notes for other mods that aren't in the channel, which is huge, as are the timeouts, the bans, and being able to keep track. Now, I don't remember if it was account specific to just your stream or if it's site wide. If it's site wide, it could be good or bad. It probably isn't site wide because I feel like that'd be a mess. I don't know, Cass, what
I
do you
mean,
think?
like all those times I pretend banned people.
Oh, well, exactly. Yeah.
Like, do they have a record now because they were like, I don't know. Sometimes we just mess around and we like
I
time
just,
each other out or we ban each other. Is that like now going to show up?
no, and I think that's why it's going to be channel specific because there's no way. Like, think about it. How many people probably get timed out? So, like, you come into my channel, you can swear up a storm, up and down, left and right, say whatever words under the book as long as it's not a racial slur, and I don't care. And then you turn around and you go into Kass's stream, for example, who doesn't put up with that kind of stuff, doesn't allow that kind of stuff in chat, and you're swearing left and right, and now you get timed out 2 or 3 times till you get the hint. Hey, I know we play together, but this isn't how my chat runs. Now that carries over everywhere they go, you know what I mean? So now anytime they
But isn't
screw up,
wouldn't that be a good way though to identify trolls?
well,
You
yes
know,
and
like
no,
when a troll comes
because
into your stream,
some
you're like, oh
people,
man, they've been banned 18 times.
what
Like,
what I consider a troll in comparison to what somebody else might consider a troll, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think excessive. I think an excessive amount there could be like a notifier, but how do you know that you see this stuff all the time about toxic communities on Twitch? How do you know that they're not out rallying 6 or 7 different mods and 6 or 7 different channels? You laugh and make that face like it's some conspiracy theory, and I know it's not, only because which is messed up. People are children and they got nothing better to do. I mean, think about
yeah,
it's happened so many times already.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just I see it from both ends of the spectrum. It's perfect for handling trolls, but it can also be a way to use if they use it that way, they can grief people.
Well, because not everybody mods the same way and has the same expectations per stream. So I get that. I don't know. I don't know.
I,
I would like to know if someone got banned from your stream, because
mm-hmm.
if they got banned from your stream, that probably means that they're not going to be very welcome in my stream.
You're
You know
trying
what
to
I
say,
mean?
Cass,
So
that
like,
I run a more lax ship here? No, I'm kidding.
yeah, like you're more chill than I am. So I feel like if someone comes in and starts, trolling me and I'm like, okay, well, like look, they have, I don't know, X amount of bans or times out and if there's like little notes from whatever mod was the one that did it and said like, I don't know, we were joking, like if you have to leave a note and say like, oh, I banned this user because
Mm-hmm.
they, I don't know, I don't know, they were being annoying or I don't know, they insulted my mom or like some, and you're like, okay, well, they were joking. So like it's no
Yeah.
big deal or whatever. But I don't know. I just, if it's channel specific, I don't think that's very helpful because like
But
obviously if I ban you, you're not going to be back.
but
And so then I don't need to know your record. You know what I mean?
we're looking at these things at our level again. Look at
Yeah,
where
I
they
guess.
come
Yeah, you're
from.
right.
I mean, so again, and every week I'm sure people are tired of hearing his name, but every time Tim streams, he has a
Yeah.
Discord channel for his mods. It's a voice channel,
Oh,
and
okay.
there's
Yeah.
15 of them in that voice channel.
Yeah.
And that's not even half of his mods.
Mm.
So I always try to think about the fact that, like I said, it's trickle down effect. These features are
Mm-hmm.
not made for us and our channels.
Yeah, I know you're right.
These features are made for Ninja, who's probably got 100 mods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Tim the Tatman, who's
Yeah.
got 50 mods that are all on, that
Mm-hmm.
can't always all be on. Like, look at somebody like Tim. He runs a
Yeah.
morning stream and a night stream. He probably has different mods on both sides of the spectrum, for, you know, with the exception of some.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to think these guys need a way to communicate, and obviously Discord's great for that and stuff like that. But I don't want to have to go on Discord, search, you know, MissFatalKisses and be like, oh my god, has she ever been banned before, timed out, whatever. Now I can just click on her name in Tim's chat and see she's been
Yeah.
banned 12 times or timed out 3 times, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Um it That's why I think it's going to be channel specific. I think site wide leaves it open to too much messy, just convoluted. It could just get, again, not at our level, but think about the bigger people.
Yeah. It'd be a disaster.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's definitely going to be channel specific. But I think either way, even channel specific, it's great because, like, even our streams, if our streams start to grow, you know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody might have showed up that got timed out a while ago that, like, gave up, that was a troll. You know what I mean? Never did anything bad enough
Mm-hmm.
to get banned, but got, like, timed out 2 or 3 times and just said screw it. And now
Yeah.
you're at, you know, 115 average viewers with a consistently moving chat, and then all of a sudden this dude's in here just saying all this crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, I know that name.
Yeah.
Why do I know that name? I want
Yeah.
to know if it's going to hold a history of, you know, prior to now, or if it starts in
Yeah.
January when it drops.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, how many times we've all done it where we'll jokingly time somebody out for 10 minutes and then, or we'll ban them and unban them right away, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
banned mods
Yeah.
in my chat and then unbanned them, then remembered that I
Yeah.
had to mod them again. So
Yeah.
I do wonder if it's going to keep that kind of stuff, because then you gotta, obviously, again, we're in that portion where we can pretty much police this ourselves and we know who's
Mm-hmm.
actually been banned. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting. And then the very next thing was the roles management page, which
Mm.
I don't really see a huge advantage. I guess, again, as a bigger stream, but even as a bigger streamer, I don't go through 5 billion people's names and click which badge they have.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. I
really.
don't know.
I guess it's just a way to visually take away the chat commands, like /mod, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one didn't really do anything special for me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really find a need for it. I don't know, like maybe one day if I ever have like, I don't know, 50 mods and I'm like, oh, who is all a mod? I don't even remember anymore. Like maybe if I need to know that information, but right now I
Mm-hmm.
don't have that problem.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just
So
weird.
I don't know.
That's a boring topic, chat. We're gonna move on.
What about subscription badges are now showing the total number of months you've subscribed and the streak you've had now separate, which I think is nice.
I think that's amazing,
Yeah.
because I know people that, well, first of all, this, in my opinion, is Twitch rolling back their screw up from a few, what was it, maybe last year or 2 years ago, where they unsubbed a bunch of people from people that, like, their automatic subscriptions when they changed over to from
Oh
Xsolla to their own
no.
stuff. So when they went proprietary and got off Xsolla or whatever it used to be, people that had running subscriptions, it canceled on some people, and I'm talking like 5 years sub streaks. You
I
know,
didn't know that.
yeah, that happened. It was a very select handful of handful. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Small people, small amount of people. Chad, I can talk. That it affected, and the problem was people lost their minds, which rightfully so, because if I'm
Yeah.
subbed to somebody for 5 years, like, it's not a big deal, like, in the grand scheme of the world, but
Yeah.
that's a long time to be supporting somebody monetarily, even if it's only $5.
I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Twitch was like, people were reaching out to Twitch, and Twitch just kind of threw their hands up, and there's like, hey, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
You know, that's insane to me. Plus, how many
Yeah.
times do people run into, you know, I've subbed to this guy for 12 months or 2 years or whatever, and then like I hit a financial hardship for a month or two, or
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
as dumb as it sounds, that $5 really makes a difference. You know,
Right.
so I get punished because life came in for a month. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's absolutely about time.
Yeah.
So they had boxes of water at this place instead of just like water bottles for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's like a new hippie thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, the hippies might be offended, but go ahead. I'm totally kidding.
Sorry. I live in
So
Seattle. I can say that, okay?
I ran into more hipsters and man buns this weekend, but anyway. Um
Mm.
so it was a running joke because I ran into one of the people from our community, and I couldn't
Mm.
find bottled water. There was only the boxed water. And I was
Yeah.
literally drinking water from like what looked like a milk carton. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's weird.
totally sidetracked there, but I saw a message in chat. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. How do you think? I mean, obviously, I can't think of anything negative about the sub badges. I'm really glad
I
that they
mean,
did the streaks separate,
yeah. Yeah.
because that would have pissed me off if I was somebody that was subbed for 5 years straight, and then somebody who, you know, subbed on and off for 5 years and then hit the 5 year mark got the same kind of recognition.
Oh yeah.
It,
Yeah.
again, I kind of contradict my last point of life happens sometimes, but
Yeah.
I can see it from both sides of the coin.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they're keeping it separate and that you still will know both of those things separately. But yeah, no, I think it's great. I have people in my community that would have longer sub streaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've been sub for a really long time, but they miss a month or miss a couple of months. And so now, when they subscribe, it's only their like second month streak or whatever. And it
Yep.
would be nice to recognize them for having been a subscriber, for X amount of months total instead of like just the streak alone. So, yeah.
I think it'll be really beneficial for Twitch Prime people
Mm,
because
yeah.
how Prime doesn't auto resub,
Yeah.
and you might forget or like miss it or not be able to catch streams for a while, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna resub
Hmm.
with Prime for the 8th month, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yay, new subscription.
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, it's just I think it'll be a good implementation of everything for the most part.
Hmm.
They did a pretty good job, I think, this year. Some of the stuff that I'm not crazy on. Oh, chat, you don't see Kass anymore because my computer freaked out. Sorry. There she is. She's back. Sorry.
Ooh,
Go ahead.
there's more stuff.
Oh yeah, there's
I feel
lots of
like I'm
stuff.
interrupting you.
No, you're good. I literally was talking about how I broke everything, so close that web page so that doesn't happen again.
All right, there's one thing that I'm not interested in, but there's another thing that you've talked about before, and I want you to talk about it again.
Okay.
Is the Thrive thing. So the bounty board.
Oh
So
yes,
they're
yes,
having 30
yes.
more brands starting in November. Partners and select affiliates in the US will be
Mm-hmm.
able to use the bounty board. I don't know much about that, but I know you've talked to me about it before.
So bounty
So
board is pretty cool for those of you that don't know what it is. Also, by the way, guys, if you do exclamation point stream key before I go rambling off again like I always do, you can join the Discord, and normally we would have you ask questions, and you can even jump in and ask questions now if you want to jump in it. We're probably going to stick to TwitchCon almost the entire episode because there's so much content to
yeah,
cover. But if you have
yeah.
something on it or you want to ask a question TwitchCon related, do not hesitate, exclamation point stream key. If not, if it's going to be chat questions or anything like that, we will try to get to them towards the end of it just because there's so much stuff to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, bounty board. Bounty board, it is a funny name for it, but you're essentially hunting down bounties, you know, like they did in the Wild Wild West. So what Twitch does is like there was a big push with Assassin's Creed Origins. So what Ubisoft did was they offered the game up to you for free. You had to play it for X amount of time, so let's say 2 hours. You have to put hashtag ad in your title. That is the one thing everybody keeps like, oh, you know, all these people are playing Assassin's Creed and they're getting paid and not telling anybody. No, you have to put ad in your title. And so like it bases it on viewership, obviously, but it says like play Assassin's Creed Origins for 2 hours and maintain 100 viewers and we'll pay you $200. If you hit 75 viewers, we'll pay you $150. If you hit 50 viewers, we'll pay you 100. If you fall under 50, you're not getting paid. But now, damn, but at the same time, you're getting a $60 AAA game for free, even if you don't hit the numbers. It was application based. I don't know if it still is for affiliates. Partners have automatic access to the bounty board once they're verified and partnered. Select affiliates had to apply for it, and they were giving them out, I don't know, on a random basis. I don't know how they were doing it, to be honest with you. I personally don't have it. I know people that have it. And I've seen the bounty board, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, even to the point of, like, playing an advertisement on your stream. Like, if there's a new movie, like the new Halloween movie coming out, play this ad on your stream to, you know, once you hit 40 average viewers, and we'll pay you $10. It's a home run. It's $10 in your PayPal for paying a trailer or something. And you get to pick and choose. You're not like, you're not forced into anything. You can choose not to do any of them. There's a lot of people that don't do any. You know, it all depends. And it's just an easier way for you to monetize your stream. Because I forget the exact number that was displayed on the graphic when they started the keynote. But the amount of money made on Twitch this year, just by content creators, not even the website, just in content creators' pockets, was enormously high, like in the millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business.
So that's probably not including like PayPal.
No, that's just Twitch, just Twitch revenue. So whether it be ads or... I mean, they even talked about the increase in subs, ads, and everything else. Sub gifting alone, I think, which has only been out for like 2 months. I forget what the number, but there was some astronomically high number of gifted subs in the past like 2 months. It was crazy, like millions of dollars.
I mean, we've all seen it. It's crazy. Yeah.
There was somebody in one day, I think they said $36,000 in one stream. Yeah. And gifted subs.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
It's insane. Yes, it was
9 million.
It was absolutely wild. But yeah, so the bounty board's really cool. I hope they open it up to more and more people. You'll see it on the graphic that they attached where there's the different things on how much you can make. I said $200. It's not normally that high from what I understand. It was just a easy round number to use.
Yeah.
Twitch sings.
Yeah.
I saw it live, like on the TwitchCon floor. It was really cool. I don't know, as much as I like to get dumb sometimes, and I'll sing. I was singing on stream, I think, during Fallout the other night. But it's just not like, I'm not going to sit there and do karaoke. Which, also, TOS, by the way. You went on this whole thing on TOS, how you can't do karaoke on stream. And now you created karaoke on stream.
Oh.
It's literally in the TOS. It says you can't do karaoke.
Is it really?
I swear to God. It literally says you can't do karaoke on stream. And then they created this. So that's amazing. I don't know, Kass, you gonna be getting down with some karaoke?
I'm not. This is the thing I said I'm not interested in. But I think it's a cool concept for people who are.
I think it's very cool how they integrated it with like chat and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the last thing, which wasn't really the last thing with the keynote, but our girl Pokimane there with her Snapchat filters live on stream through extensions. Live now. We could all be sitting here with Snapchat filters on while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about Snapchat being integrated?
I love it.
Yeah?
I freaking love it.
Have you
I
used
think
it
it's
yet?
cool. I haven't. I actually just installed it before we started. But you have to download some kind of app.
Is it
So
Snapchat?
I don't. It's some kind of camera app. So it works with your
Oh, you mean for
webcam
the
or whatever
PC?
camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So I haven't done that. So I did install the extension, but we'll see. I want to give it a try. I don't know how it's gonna work. I wish it was more of something that I could have like redeemed with like loyalty points in my stream, but I don't think that's an option. So
Well, I haven't looked too much into the extension. You choose what thing goes on your face, right? It's not like chat clicks on your camera or clicks
is
on
it?
your. I'm pretty sure. So
Oh,
there,
if it's something that I choose, then
then you
no, I
could.
don't want it.
Well, no, if it's
I don't
something
want
you
it at
choose,
all.
then you could kind of totally do redemption. See chat monetization. No, I'm kidding. When she says redemption, she means point systems, by the way, which I
Yeah,
always encourage people to implement.
I see what you're saying.
But either way, the snap camera seems interesting. It's definitely pretty cool. That was totally implemented by Streamlabs OBS first, but anyway. Twitch
Yeah,
again late to the party.
they
Twitch.
did.
All right.
They did, yeah.
So the hot topic that everybody exploded about this weekend that I can't wait to talk about is Dust and his incredible panel. So how anyone in the chat has no idea what I'm talking about would be mind-blowing to me, because it's literally been on like every news outlet, let alone Twitter, MySpace. Yeah, it's been on MySpace. It probably has been. But anyway, so this kid, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember the exact quote, and there's a reason I'm paraphrasing because it's not the main focus of why I want to talk about it. But he says something along the lines of having a god complex and that he's above his chat, doesn't identify with his chat, wants absolutely nothing to do with his chat, and essentially every viewer on Twitch is below him. Okay. So, Kass, let's just start with that, and then we'll dive into the whole panel as a whole. Let's just dive into the explosion of social media on this out of context clip.
Yeah, so just taking that clip, I honestly I didn't know about the panel. I didn't know what the panel was about at all. Until today, earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that clip on Twitter and I watched it and I was like, wow, what did like well, this guy thinks he's better than me. Why does he think he's better than me? This like, and it's not just me, like personally me, but it's the fact that this guy thinks he's just better than everybody is essentially what it sounds like he's saying in this clip. Like, I don't want you to relate to me because I'm better than you, because it's some God complex. And I was just like, this guy. And of course, like the comments on the clip, this guy basically ruined his career.
Nope.
It's
First of all, nope.
the hate he got, the comments. Oh my God, I was reading through them. People were mad.
So
People were mad.
he got an incredible amount of hate.
A great amount of hate. There were a couple of people in the comments that you could tell were viewers of his that
Mm-hmm.
were standing up for him. But yeah, what did you think? You weren't at the panel,
No, I was
so
not
you
at the
didn't see it
panel.
happen.
Unfortunately, I
Okay.
missed it. So first of all, the panel, I forget the exact title of it, but it was essentially about how to treat your stream as a real business and how to stand out on Twitch.
Hmm.
And how they ran the panel was it was run by a guy, I can't remember the name now, as soon as I just sent it to Kass too.
Yeah, I don't have it
He
up.
streams Smite. He's the top Smite streamer on Twitch. He is a self-proclaimed toxic individual. He literally has an FAQ portion in his channel that says, "Why do you act like such a blank?" Which is essentially an asshole, I would assume. And he
Hmm.
says, "Because it bothers you and it irritates you." DM Brandon, thank
Yeah.
you. And then he literally says, "Wow, you really do seem to hate a lot, or a lot of people seem to hate you." Well, yes, I garner hate because I don't care what comes out of my mouth. So the whole idea behind this panel was like he has an attitude like that. The girl has a very welcoming, chipper community. She's a voice actress. She actually is very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Then you had Bikeman, who is one of like the longest and oldest partners on Twitch. Bikeman streams no overlay. Bikeman tells you that this is the game I play. I variety stream. You don't like it, get the frick out, because we're on the True channel.
I liked him.
Bikeman is actually really awesome. I've watched Bikeman for a long time, and I really enjoy Bikeman. But Bikeman said something so honest on this panel too, which I loved. He says, "I like to make people laugh because I feed off of it." Not I like to make people laugh to make them laugh. I like to make people laugh because I like it. It makes me feel better. But this kid, so now go to him, the kid Dust. He's the only person that's an affiliate on the panel. Now, you're an affiliate, 28,000 affiliates on Twitch, and they picked you to be on this panel. You can't tell me the kid's not doing something unique because they pulled him out of that many people. And essentially, he tells you, so this kid speed runs games. He holds the world record for speed running in Resident Evil 7. And he tells you in his, now he's changed his panels since this, but in his panels that pretty much, I'm not here to be your friend. I don't want to have an interaction with you. I don't do giveaways. I don't have a Discord. I don't want to talk to you. I don't acknowledge subs. I don't acknowledge follows. I don't do any of the above. I'm here to play this game at an elite level, and you're here to watch me if you so choose.
Yeah.
Well, again, this clip was taken out of context. I want you to know that was the very last question, and it wasn't even really a question, and I was actually at the True party with the girl who asked the question at the end of the video, who sparked this comment. But this was literally the end. They were getting kicked out of the theater because they had to put another panel in there. And this was the last thing that was said by this poor kid. He was serious in an extent. So he does a whole twit longer thing, and The Verge did a great article on it and everything like that. It fit the platform perfectly in what they were talking about. So a lot of people said that. So Twinkie Talks just said in the chat, why not just be on YouTube if you don't want kind of interaction? Why does he have to go to YouTube? Why does he have to edit his speedrunning content? Why can't he stream it to Twitch? No, I love community on Twitch. I love interacting. This is a prime example of that. Nowhere does it say he has to do that. And this is everybody's thing. Why be on Twitch then? Because I want to live stream, because I can hit start and it's that simple. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to upload it. I don't have to do any of the above. I can sit here, I can speed run and do stuff like that and focus, and other people who speed run can watch me because it's the platform I chose to be on. I mean, there's a million different reasons why, but that comparison, I saw that all weekend and that drove me nuts. Just be on YouTube because you don't want interaction. That's not how it works, because even though there's interaction on Twitch, it's not any different than you enjoying somebody that does YouTube, or you enjoying a movie or TV show or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, Kass, what do you think?
Well, yeah, like I said, my initial reaction to his clip was like, I was pretty shocked that he would say that, but you know, whatever, you move on. But after reading his tweet that kind of explained the clip, and watching that panel, I watched a good chunk of that panel. He is also the same kind of viewer as he is a streamer. So like, he doesn't go on Twitch to interact with streamers, and you can see that often when he's, you know, talking or coaching the other streamers that go up there and talk to him. He's not on Twitch to make friends, and he's not on Twitch to be interactive with people. When he goes to watch streams, he goes to watch streams to watch really good gameplay. And maybe if you're crazy entertaining, he wants to watch you because you're entertaining. That doesn't mean he wants to be your friend. He just wants to watch you because you're entertaining him, or because your gameplay is out of this world or whatever. And I can respect that. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with how he runs his channel. But something that Bikeman said at the end and really struck home with me anyway, is that if your community grows and continues to grow, I like to think like right now I'm making friends with most of my viewers. But obviously, I mean, let's say hypothetically, I have 1,000 viewers every stream. there's no way I can build a connection and a friendship with 1,000 people. That's crazy. You can't do that. And so it becomes less about having or making friends and more about just loving your community as a whole. And I think that's kind of where this Dust guy is, but a lot of affiliates don't start there. A lot of affiliates start with the relationship building, and he's kind of just skipping over that part because big time streamers, they don't have the time and they don't have the time to give every single one of their viewers their individual attention. And that's just kind of how it is. So I respect it, honestly. I really do.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. So like I saw people bringing up Shroud in the chat. So Shroud is somebody who streams on average to 30 to 40 to 50,000 people. In sub only and slow mode, at that number, the chat is moving so fast. And then somebody like Shroud, who is very laser focused when he is playing on his gameplay and everything like that, he's obviously not going to read every single thing that happens on his chat. Now, in between games, he will turn and he'll look and he'll say this, that, or the other thing, or acknowledge a donation or whatever. But like the other thing the guy Bike Man says in the panel is like, he's like, I have sub alerts. He goes, they go off, but that's it. I don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
He's like, I might say thanks for a sub here and there every once in a while. He's like, but I'm not there for that. He's like, that's not why we're here. He's like, everybody that's been in my channel knows that that's not what we're doing today.
Yeah.
You know, we're not here. We're here to play this game, and I'm here to make you laugh. I'm not here to acknowledge that you exist and make you feel better about being in my chat. He's like, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate my community. He's like, I have a sub-only Discord that he's like, he was talking about how he doesn't do giveaways. And how he only, like, he'll get codes from publishers and stuff like that for free. And he just throws them in his Discord. He's just like, here you go. You guys are the most loyal people, so have some codes. You know, but he'll interact there, he says, but it's not like he's going out of his way. And the other thing that the, what's his name? The Dust guy says, which I thought was pretty profound, is that he's like, you know, you eventually become so enveloped in everybody else's problems that they become your own. They start to affect you. You start to feel bad when, you know, somebody's having a bad day or something like that. He's like, I don't want that. He's like, that's not what I'm looking for. He's like, I'm looking to play elite gameplay on a platform. All I'm looking for. I'm looking to watch other people do their mechanics and get better at the game. And, you know, he's like, he says it. He's like, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk to somebody or I won't acknowledge that they exist. The problem was that clip. He so poorly worded that whole thing, and it just fell apart on him. And then he doubled down because he's 21 years old. And I can tell you at 21 years old, if I was in that kid's position and I did something stupid like that, you're damn right I'm doubling down because I am not going to be wrong here. I'm going to find a way to fix this by making myself right instead of just admitting that I screwed up and poorly worded it. And it took him a few days to say, hey, genius. I'm sure 20,000 people were telling him, hey, look, dude, just own it. Which he did. His tweet long with the apology, he fully acknowledges what he said, and it's not like he backpedals and, you know, says, oh, I'm going to start loving my chat now and all this crazy stuff. He just says, look, I poorly worded it. I'm a 21-year-old kid. I don't do live public speaking events in front of a full house of people because that was a popular panel.
Yeah.
And that panel alone, like, was great because how they started that panel, because again, nobody really watched the panel. They only watched the clip.
That panel was good.
The panel was really good, and I'm really mad I didn't go to it. But they had you come up, and they asked you 4 questions. Who are you? What do you stream? Who is your audience? And what makes you unique? And they were brutally honest with people. You know, oh, what makes you unique? Oh, I connect with my community. I welcome every single person that comes in. Yeah, so does every single other person on Twitch. Or they had a kid from, where did he say he was from? I forget. He was international. He spoke Spanish and English. He was bilingual.
Puerto
but
Rico
maybe, But he kind of bombed from the second he went up there. And the guy made a very good point. You know, his first thing he says to him when he tells him he's bombing is he says, well, I'm bilingual. And he says, well, I respect that. He goes, but treat me like I'm somebody coming into your chat. They're not going to care that you're bilingual. They're going to care that you get across your
Yeah.
point. He's like, you
Yeah.
came up here, you were stuttering, you weren't getting it together. You're not unique. You're not pushing anything unique. You're not offering anything different than the millions of other people on Twitch. Then don't expect to succeed.
Yeah.
And then they would tell them, you know, they asked every person on the panel, would you go to this person's stream? And every person said no. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, while it's harsh, I bet you that kid learned a lot right there and then that he probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have otherwise. Because it's
Yeah.
easy to tout everybody up and tell everybody that they're great. You know, everybody wants to make
Yeah.
everybody feel good.
Mhm.
But the problem is that's not the reality of it, you know, and it all
Yeah.
depends. I say it all the time. It all depends on what your goal is on this platform. If your goal is to just have a
Yeah.
good time and stream to a couple of your friends and hang out, then that's great.
Yeah.
But you can't, you know, just think that you can hit go live and it's just going to happen eventually. It's just not
Yeah.
how it works. You know, it's the harsh reality of it, and people don't want to hear
Mhm.
the truth a lot of the time. And that's why
Yeah.
that I thought that panel was amazing, and I thought it was
It was great.
good on Twitch for allowing it to happen, because it's a very
Yeah.
un-Twitch like thing to go on.
Yeah.
Because Twitch is very about telling everybody that they're going to be, you know, good and they're going to be
Yeah.
successful. And the other thing they preached home, which I thought was great during that panel, was the hard work means something. You know, that
Yeah.
guy who streamed Smite, he talks about how when he started, and I don't know if you caught this because you said you stopped watching, but
Mm.
he was talking about the beginning of his streaming. So he has that facade. I don't want to call it a facade because maybe that's how he is, but he has that toxic fu attitude. I say what I want, don't care, too damn
Yeah.
bad. And at the time when he
Yeah.
started, there was 3 or 4 other people that had that kind of you know, attitude on Twitch, that kind of
Demeanor.
a
Yeah.
brand. And the problem
Mhm.
was, he said he went on an hour before all of them and ended an hour after, and he did that for a year, and he became the top streamer out of all those people. He took their viewers,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he said that's the kind of grind. Everybody, you know, oh, it's not about the work. The hard work doesn't mean anything because you need the this that.
Yeah.
No, you need both. You can be the most
Yeah.
unique thing on Twitch if you're only streaming 4 hours a week. It's not going to
Yeah.
matter because nobody's going
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah.
It's just it was such a great panel, and
Yeah.
that poor kid caught so much flack.
I mean, it was harsh, but I think it was respectful. Like
I didn't think he
we've
said
talked
anything
about
too
this
bad.
so much about being self-critical, and
Mhm,
I know I talk about this all the time, but a lot of people just are, they're down in the dumps about their stream, yet they don't criticize the stream. You have to, or criticize yourself. Like look at yourself, see what you can do to improve. And this panel was great for that.
mhm,
Um it was great for that. And honestly, like I feel like for the most part, I have it together. Like I'm like, man, I'm doing good. I know like I have everything is like
mhm,
a smooth running, like smooth sailing ship. Everything is fine. But when they ask these questions, I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to get up there and answer those questions without
same.
them saying those things to me. Like, like, who are you? Who is your audience? What makes you unique? They would have said the same thing to me as they said to some of those other people. Like, oh, well, everyone else is really nice. Everyone else says hi to
Mhm.
their new followers and says thank you to their subscribers. And like, I don't know, like it really made even me question, even though I'm so comfortable and feel, I always know there's room for improvement. I'm not trying to say I'm like, my stream's so great, but a lot of times I feel like I'm doing okay. And that was eye-opening for even me, so
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah.
I feel the same exact way. It's very it's funny too that this question I think came up 2 weeks ago was the elevator speech. You know, your 4 second pitch,
Yeah.
your 4 second
Yeah.
pitch.
Hmm.
But it's the truth. It's they essentially treated you like you were getting rated.
Yeah.
The guy said it. It's literally 14
Exactly.
sentences. You shouldn't be over 14 sentences to answer my 4 questions. You should be able to
Right.
answer them without hesitation. You shouldn't be saying you shouldn't be confused, you shouldn't be worried. It's
Yeah.
essentially the same thing to get rated. It's
Yeah.
you have that very small window to grab the attention of the people that are coming in there and explain to them why they should stay and watch your content.
Right.
There was one girl, I think, out of all of them where they all said, we'd probably follow you because it was a very
She was
unique, it was a
she
little
was really
strange,
good.
but Like, not my cup of tea, but a lot of them said that too. They were like, probably not my cup of tea, but it's very, very unique. And that was a big thing. And it's very good point. You know, first to the content was a big thing that they preached during that whole thing too. You know, we talk about Ninja and his success and all that. Grant you, Ninja had a base and a following, whatever. But Ninja was first to the content. It's why Ninja could have been any of those guys. You know, they talk about Cypher PK. And Cypher, who is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch right now because of Fortnite. And for those of you that don't know, he averages 15 to 20,000 viewers playing Fortnite every day. Plays with all the big names, Ninja, Tim, all them. Cypher was a For Honor streamer, along with King Richard, who's another huge Fortnite streamer, and a couple other guys. And Cypher was like not even top of the category. He was like 5th or 6th. Grant you, he probably still had a couple hundred viewers. But when Fortnite dropped, Cypher grinded that game 12 hours a day until somebody noticed him. And now he's sitting at 20,000 viewers because he was first to the content and he put in the work. You know, and that's just, it's a self-critical thing. And Cypher doesn't do anything any different. You know, he's just, he's entertaining, obviously. There's got to be some kind of extra content on top of just your gameplay, but he's also disgusting at the game. You know, you got to have, Bikeman said it the best, you got to have one of the two. You got to be a great personality or a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
And having the mix of the two is the perfect combination, obviously, but you can't have neither. You can't be okay at a game and be very introverted and kind of meh about your content, and because it's not worth it. Why are you, unless you're doing it strictly to have fun and have a good time. But if you are looking to make something out of your stream, whether it be hit affiliate or get partnered or blow up or go full time or whatever, you know, it's just, it's crazy.
A lot of it, I think, with the panel too, was the confidence in answering the questions. Like, maybe you don't need some crazy thing that makes you unique, but I know that, like, someone who was asked, you know, like, what makes you unique, you saying like, oh, my bubbly personality is what makes me unique, but just like knowing that instead of saying like, I think it's this thing, and then you know, you failed. Like, you can't question that stuff. You have to have that confidence.
Yeah, I think it's that mix of confidence and that mix of knowing yourself and your content. I mean, it all goes back to that raid speech. As dumb as it is and as dumb as it sounds, somebody comes into my channel, I can repeat it verbatim like the back of my hand. Literally the first thing I thought of when they asked that first kid and they destroyed him for just saying his name. Well, he was the guinea pig and he even said it. And they gave him a chance to redo it and it got really weird, but even the guy said it. He's like, it's a marked improvement. It's a marked improvement over where you were when you first came up here. You know, but I know if I walked up there, in which I never would have walked up there because I know better than that kind of stuff. You are designed to fail in that situation. It's why they're doing it. I would have at least had that first question down. What's my viewership base? I don't know. Lunatics who love their country, I guess. Love y'all. But K-Kona emote users, I wouldn't know how to answer a lot of the questions.
How do you reach your audience?
Like, I mean, I'm just obnoxious.
The one guy was like, I think it was the metal guy.
Yes. The socially awkward metal guy.
He was like the only person that answered this question to where they were actually impressed. But like, how do you reach your audience? And everyone always says like, oh, well, I post on Twitter and I post in Discord and whatever. But he was essentially like, I'm not self-promoting. I play Dead by Daylight and I am on the forums and I am on Twitter commenting on their posts. I am like a name in the community that people would recognize because I'm so ingrained. And I thought that was awesome. Like, how to reach your audience. That's a great way to reach your audience. There's so many of us that just like, you know, post a going live tweet every other day or whatever. And like, that's our outreach, or I don't know. It's like,
he did, that kid said he spent 6 hours a day, just 6 hours a day, 4 to 6 hours a day, just doing that. So that's the grind of it though. He networks and he networks properly. Like you said, he's not self-promoting. He's commenting,
Yeah.
he's talking. We talk about this all the time. Like, I talk about how I'm a hardcore lurker on Twitch. I'm very bad
Yeah.
with it. Because normally, if I have time to have Twitch up, that's time I could be doing other things, whether it be for my stream or my
Yeah.
wife or whatever. So a lot of the time, what
Mhm.
I will do is I will have my main monitor and I will throw Twitch up on my second. I'll say hi and I'll say this,
Mhm.
that, and whatever. And then
Mhm.
usually I'll just leave it up and it's kind of in the background. I'll kind of look if something happens, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not networking at that point.
Right.
You're
Right.
not garnering anything to benefit yourself by being
Right.
like that. You know,
Right.
it just doesn't do anything for you. You can't lurk and expect to network at the same time.
Mhm.
It just doesn't it doesn't go hand in hand. And a lot of my problem, and
Yeah.
I say it all the time, is majority of my viewing of this kind of stuff is on my TV or on mobile where it's a pain. I
Yeah.
don't, I'm not on the computer most of the time, so it's not easy for me to just chat. But again,
Yeah.
that's 100 million excuses that I'm making instead of just doing it
Yeah.
because I don't want to. And but
Mhm.
at some point, I have to reevaluate. Do I not want to a point where I'm not going to do it, or should I just get off my behind and start doing what I should be doing anyway?
Mhm.
Because I enjoy the other people I watch. Like I like Kass's stream. I like the other people.
Mhm.
Why am I not interactive? I mean, grant you, I'm interactive in Discord or whatever, but the point is
Yeah.
that I could easily be more interactive, and there's no reason I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought the
Yeah.
networking thing was a big home run in that panel. If you haven't watched that panel, I forget what time it was, but there is a VOD of it. I'll put the
I
link
have a
in the
link to.
stream.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say one of us will put the link in the Stream Key Discord. We'll
Yeah.
put it under Twitch resources. Watch the panel. You gotta skip like halfway through it because I don't know, there was some panel before it, but it's absolutely worth the watch because it will give you a lot of stuff. Somebody like me, like, Kass was talking about how she feels that she's pretty polished and stuff like that, and I kind of feel the same way about my stuff. And literally, I think both of us typed to each other at the same time. We were like, wow, need to take a step back and really look at my stuff here because this panel made
Yeah.
me feel really bad. In a good way, though. Like, it opens you up to make you ask questions that you should have been asking anyway.
It was great.
It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. If you have the time, watch it. Trust me.
Those questions are so important for any streamer. Like, I'm like so on board with these 4 questions that like I want to
Yeah,
post them somewhere. So like, I don't know. People need to
they
know
should.
this.
They should. I'm gonna tell GreenChord those should be the 4 questions he asks people when they go on their solo interviews on Stream Key on
Oh
Thursdays.
yeah.
Those should be
Oh,
like
that's
your 4 questions. Really mess with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, that kid, the long and short of the whole viral end of it, he crap answers, crap wording. That poor kid. But this is 21-year-old success. This is what happens. And again, I'm not knocking anybody younger in the chat or stuff. And I used to be that guy at 21 who said, "Oh, listen to this idiot. He's only like 28. What the hell's the difference? He don't know anything different than I do." I tell you, that
Yeah.
7 years, man, makes you old, and it makes you know a lot more than you thought you knew, and you still don't
Yeah.
know nothing. It teaches you that you don't know jack even now.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it was absolutely crazy. The other thing
Yeah.
I'll actually have us link that to. Drew mentioned the Verge article. The Verge article was probably the best touch on all of it. It was the best, most well-rounded written piece of stuff. But watch the panel for the benefit of just those 4 questions. Listen to the 4 questions they ask. Watch it from the beginning. Do yourself a favor. Don't skip around. Watch it from the very beginning because the
It's
first time
really
they
good.
the first time they ask those 4 questions, and then he answers them, and then they tear him apart, and then they re-ask those questions again, you see how people change their answers and
Yeah.
start to think about it and still
Yeah.
can't answer them. And then
I don't
just
hate on that guy at all.
no, not at all.
I would have been in the same situation answering those questions the first time. Would have been like,
Oh,
"Hi, I'm Kass."
absolutely. No, no knock to the dude that answered the questions
Yeah.
first. The guy would have been like, "What's your name?" SnoopHogTV.
Yeah.
And he would have been like, "That's it?" And I would have
Who
been
are
like,
you?
"What else are you looking for here, pal?" You
Yeah,
asked
I
my
know.
name. But no,
Yeah.
they didn't ask what's your name. And that's my point. Like, even now I'm paraphrasing it wrong. He asked, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
And
Yeah.
that's such a different question than what's your name, and you don't even think about that. You're just like,
You
"Oh,
don't.
I'm SnoopHogTV."
Yeah.
You know, that would have been my answer, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was
Absolutely
so great.
crazy.
I got addicted to watching it. I was like, dang, this is good. I should have watched it after I watched the clip of that guy failing so hard. I
Yeah,
should
but
have
that's pretty
I should
much
have
the
dug
point you
into
watched
it,
it, no? Oh, yeah, I got what you're saying.
you know. Yeah.
I didn't watch the panel till today either, though, and I was there dealing with it all weekend, and they were making such. I remember Keemstar tweeted out about it. I mean, it was a
Oh
mess,
yeah. It's on
absolute mess.
PewDiePie's video, TwitchCon Cringiness or
Yeah,
whatever
I
his
haven't watched
video
that
is.
yet. I heard it's incredible, but it's also
Yeah, it's really
PewDiePie, so
good.
it's cringy all on its own. Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
supposedly, totally random little here insider info for TwitchCon. Supposedly, Ice
Hmm.
Poseidon was there. So for those of you that don't know who Ice Poseidon is, he was an IRL streamer who got banned from Twitch permanently because like there was all sorts of crazy. He got swatted in public and like a bomb scare on an airplane. It was a mess, absolute mess. But
What?
oh yeah, it was a disaster. But
Okay.
he was IRL because I guess he live streams to YouTube now. But
Oh,
he was
okay.
IRL streaming outside of TwitchCon because he's not allowed inside because he's permabanned, and once you're permabanned off Twitch, you can't get into TwitchCon. Oh, I don't know what websites he's on. I don't follow him at all. But I just thought it was pretty funny. A little piece of insider TwitchCon info.
Wow.
Um yeah, I
You can't
mean,
stay away.
like I said, if you guys have any questions about TwitchCon or for us or streaming in general, you can either jump in the Discord, !stream key, type them in the chat, or we can go through. I don't even think there's going to be many questions just because we're
I have a
pretty much
question.
all TwitchCon. Sure.
How was the true related TwitchCon stuff?
Ooh, so that was a lot of fun, and I'm sworn to
Okay.
secrecy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There
Oh.
was really
Oh.
nothing secret happened there at all. It was a
Okay.
lot of fun. It was absolutely awesome to meet the people that we deal with on a daily basis and talk to on a daily
Yeah.
basis. And I mean, it kind of grouped into like TwitchCon as a whole. You know,
Hmm.
the true thing was just like a bonus. We ended up streaming a lot of it. I ended up avoiding it most of the live stream part of it because I knew I was heavily intoxicated and it was a good idea to stay away from it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
don't put me near an open bar chat. America and Kona are a real thing, and that happens. No, it was really cool though. It was really awesome to be able to hang with everybody, and it was really cool to do. I've never done like a weird live stream event like that. Not that it's weird, but like it's out of my realm of normalcy. So like just
Like
like
very
a
IRL.
yeah, like a fireside IRL chat type deal. Like I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'll BS for a half an hour in the beginning of my stream, but that's kind of it. And it's
Mm.
really just me talking to the
Yeah.
chat. You know what I mean? It's not like me and 12 other people.
Mm.
Like I didn't really get the dynamic of like when I'm just like we're doing this now where we know not to talk over each other for the most part. But like
Yeah.
that was just a disaster. We had wireless microphones and it was a mess. Bless anybody that was actually listening or watching that. Okay.
It kind of made me feel like I was there. Like
That's what everybody
there were
kept saying.
there were times where the people who were hosting the stream kind of just forgot they were streaming and like started doing their own thing, but it kind of as weird as that is, maybe it was nice because I felt like I was there, like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, well now we're hanging out over here, or like, I don't know, it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of fun. Yes, Sodomi was hysterical during the entire thing. Um,
I think Vel wore his Britney Spears shirt like the whole time. Is that true?
what do you mean, like the whole TwitchCon or the whole party?
Well, like every picture I see him,
So Saturday, I guess, is when
he's
he took most of his pictures, and that was the day
oh,
we
okay.
both met Tim. So, by the way,
Oh, okay,
little
okay.
little insider edition story. Vel owes me because he would have never met Tim if it wasn't for my quick shot text message to tell him where he was. Because he did like this impromptu meetup after his meet and greet.
Okay.
Because like his meet and greet, they cut off his line like before he even got there because there were so many people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then like as soon as it ended, he walked out and there was this like stairwell from the meet and greet that went to the Fortnite tent. And he went down the
Hmm.
stairs and like looked at his wife and he's like, "All right, where are we going?" And she was like, "I don't know." And he looked at the security guy and he's like, all right, what do we have to do next? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, well, so nobody knows where we're going. So I guess I'm just going to stand here and talk to people because I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And he stood there for like, it's how I got my picture with him, but he stood there for like 30 minutes and just did this like impromptu meetup. And then he did one on Sunday, or no, on Saturday. That was Friday and then Saturday. I don't remember. My days are all messed up. But either way, he did one and apparently didn't tell Twitch staff because he did this random impromptu meetup in like the main hallway. And
that was a disaster.
It was a mess because he didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell Twitch staff, nobody. He just stopped and decided, all right, this is where I'm going to hang out and meet people. And like there was 4 Twitch staff that looked miserable because they were trying to corral this line in this huge open area in front of a doorway.
They're like, what's happening?
It was great. Yeah, I have to say though, I didn't see too many people, like big names on Twitch. Like I ran into Carnage. That was pretty cool. But I only saw him for like half a second. XQC is the Overwatch streamer, if for those of you that don't know him, he got kicked off Dallas Fuel like 3 times and then finally left. And now his stream's huge. And then who's the other guy? Oh, and GreenChord. Oh, Ko is huge, but I feel like a lot of people don't know who Ko is because he variety streams, so unless you're into that. But XQC and Greek were just all over the con floor all weekend long, and it was insane. So was Soda Poppin'. Soda Poppin' was just running around IRL streaming everything. He IRL streamed the party. He was in the field at the Diplo set, just like running around with the YView backpack cam on.
Yeah.
But they were like mobbed. Like I couldn't imagine being at that level where like you can't even walk outside of a door without getting mobbed.
Yeah.
Like everywhere they went. Like it was really weird though. Like it's kind of surreal because you realize it sounds so dumb, but they're real people too. I always hate when people say stuff like that because it drives me insane. Like obviously we know they're people, but it was super weird to stand. Like we were waiting at the crosswalk and I was standing right next to Ammunition and I was just like, oh, you're just standing here with a Starbucks cup. Yo, what's up? I'm coming to walk across the street now. Like that's crazy.
You do normal people things.
Like I ran into Shroud outside the PUBG thing, the PUBG invitational, like crossing the street. I was just like, that's Shroud. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I gotta go over here for my meet and greet. I was like, oh, cool. And I didn't even think to ask him for a picture because it was like such a nonchalant, weird, I didn't want to be that guy. And then like people started realizing he was there and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a mess, huh? He's like, yeah, a little bit. And I was like, all right, good luck. And I just kind of left. I was like, oh, that's wild.
That is so cool.
But it was so funny. Like he walked out of the PUBG invitational like so nonchalant. Like in esports gear and everything. I'm like, how did people not notice this guy yet? And I was just like, oh, all right. It was just crazy. The whole thing. Yeah, Shroud made me look tall and I'm short. Short AF. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I saw Twinkie Talks had a question. Said co-stream stuff. How do you think it's gonna work with stuff like E3 or Twitch marathons? I think it'd be a cool way to implement it because kind of like well, it wouldn't really work for what we're doing specifically, but it would work like if we were gonna do like a co-cast of it, I guess, on our own channels and not on the TRUgaming channel. It'd be pretty cool that way. But I don't see it being a downside. I don't know. What do you think?
Can you?
Well, I'm saying like I know you can co-cast E3.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, I guess if you can co-cast E3, then like that would be cool. If we wanted to have like a podcasty style co-stream of E3, we could do that. Like as an example, we could, but like I think that in general you could do that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I think I know people that are into that kind of stuff.
I could definitely see like Drew and somebody else going back and forth over some E3 stuff in a co-stream.
Yeah.
I think it'd actually be a really cool way to do it.
Yeah.
No, the more I think about it, because like this is unique on the fact that we're like neither of us are on our own channel, we're on the True channel, so obviously this is where it goes.
Yeah.
But, like if we were just doing this podcast and it was just the two of us and we were to swap, like or we were to do it on our both of our own channels and then jump back and forth, I think that'd be a cool way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't see any downside to the squad streaming so far, pending it works. That's because it's Twitch, so it probably won't work right at first. But
how does the audio work for something like that? Because like my 5-year-old brain can't understand.
Whatever's in focus.
Like you would still have is what you hear.
Yeah. So like if there was both our screens up and I was in focus, they would hear me, and then they click you, and it would mute mine and unmute you as you came into focus.
So if you're co-streaming E3,
you'd have to be in a Discord call still. You're gonna hear both of us no matter what. I'm talking like
but I'm talking about the viewer. Like what would the viewer hear? They they wouldn't hear the E3 at all. They would just hear the people talking.
No, as long as we were both playing E3, we'd both have to be watching it.
Yeah.
On our specific channels with I mean, whether your volume was the same as mine, I mean, we're getting real deep into the technical here, but so we both have it turned on, and then we'd be in a Discord call like we are now. So either way, the benefit to the user swapping back and forth, I guess, would be to like, maybe they want to see my facial expressions instead of yours. Outside of that, I don't know. You're better off doing it in this kind of format, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You do, you like, obviously we make this large because it's the focus, but if like E3 was going to be the focus, I could put us in like 2 little tiny boxes in the corner and do it this way. It's kind of the same thing, and it would actually be easier because then the viewer doesn't have to jump back and forth and like try to figure out what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's definitely not going to work day one though, for sure. For sure going to be broken.
No. Definitely not on mobile either.
I'm hoping they slowly roll it out and like let people try it out more before they go full live with it, because I think it's going to be hugely beneficial, but that's a good question. A4 asked, would transcoding be for the whole co-stream? I would assume it would have to be.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be treated as one video player from what it sounds like. Wow, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't even know. I have no idea. I'm not technical enough for all that. Don't know.
Guess we'll find out.
Woofy asked, what was the daily schedule like for you guys at TwitchCon? Was it just panels all day? All right, so I didn't attend a single panel because I'm a bad TwitchCon attendee. My consisted of, you don't realize how much stuff there is to do even just outside the convention center. So my typical day of TwitchCon was get there early. I hit the con floor and did several laps, but you can only like visit so many things because A, it's packed, and B, you have to really decide what you want to see, and then you kind of just spread that out over 3 days. Obviously, I checked out like the art gallery. That was really cool. They were doing tattoos there, live streamed, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, I wasn't doing that, but there was also, I mean, they had the Twitch Prime Lounge, which was pretty cool. Because it was outside and you got in there if you had a Twitch Prime sticker. They had free drinks like water and like sodas and stuff. I wish I knew that on day one, because I spent like $12 on 2 water bottles and I could have got them for free outside. But anyway, but yeah, so there was that. There was obviously, they had food and stuff like that, but there was just so many booths on the expo floor and you can only see so much. Then they had like the esports stage with like the Doritos Bowl going on, which I don't know why they did it inside the way they did it, because it was a nightmare. So it looked really cool on Twitch. It was a disaster because they ran out of seating 2 hours before it started. And then they had lines for like overflow seating, and then it just slowly got bigger and bigger and pushed into more booths and more booths and more booths of people just standing there watching the televisions of the esports stuff. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff was like rough, but like the typical day was like 2 hours of sleep, because then TwitchCon ended, you would leave, you'd go back, you'd go out to dinner. Then like Friday night was the TwitchCon party, which we all rushed to get to because of the lines were so bad last year.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
not a single line. We got right in. And then beers were like $14 a piece in the Stalker Stadium, so that was a fun bank account the
So
next day.
stupid.
My bank
Yeah.
account hurt the next day, but anyway. Yeah, so the party went pretty late, and then we ended up going out and eating and whatever, and then sleeping 2 hours and getting up and doing it all over again. And that's what I did all weekend long. And then I
Mm.
took a red eye home Sunday night, so that was fun. So Monday I spent
Mm.
like 18 hours sleeping.
Yeah.
I slept, I got up when my wife got home for like 2 hours, then went back to bed, and then got up the next day and
Yeah.
streamed.
I'm just glad you're not sick.
I thought I was gonna be, but I hammered meds when I got home because I could feel it happening. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
no. I want none of this
Because
conitis.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people got
Yeah,
sick.
everyone here calls it the PAX flu when, PAX West is in town
Hmm.
and everybody gets sick. Even people who didn't go to PAX are sick.
Yeah,
It's it's bad, but yeah, that's awesome.
it was definitely crazy, but it was such
Mm.
an amazing experience, and it was so much fun, and like getting to meet people. Like Drew Linsky's in the chat right now, and I stayed with Drew obviously this whole weekend,
Mm.
but I had never met Drew in person before, and that was the one thing that was it was so surreally weird. Is like, so first of all, I got to Drew's flight got delayed. That was the best part of the whole thing. Drew's flight got
Oh
delayed
yeah, I remember
throughout
that.
like the entire day essentially. So he ended up there after me. So I got to the house and I had never met the two people that were there before. Like obviously I knew them because we were all in like a group chat, but so that was like, it was not awkward, but it was just because I can talk to anybody. Um, but they were like, "Hey, you want to go to Target?" And I was like, "Okay." Like, let's go to Target, I guess. And then we were like, "Whatever." We went to Target, and then Drew got
Yeah.
there, and it was like we were talking in the chat. As dumb as that sounds, it was just
Yeah.
there was no awkwardness whatsoever. It was just really cool, really cordial right away. Like
Aww.
Drew tried to, sleep with me, and I had to deny him and tell him I was married and all that kind of stuff.
Drew
Totally kidding.
Linsky.
Totally kidding, Chad. A little
Yeah,
bit.
that's funny.
But no, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah.
I absolutely suggest it to anyone. If you're a Twitch viewer, or I met viewers like that was the weirdest thing for me. Like people coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, let's take a picture," and I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Why do you want to take a picture
Who
of me?"
are
It's so
you?
weird. Like I
Yeah.
recognize the people and the names and stuff, but like people were like so excited. They're like,
Okay.
"Oh my god, I love your stuff. Let's take a picture." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay." I'm like, "This is so weird."
I freaking love it.
Oh man. And
Yeah, as awesome as it was to see you guys or to see TwitchCon happening and still be in the loop there, like see I would get so mad when no one would post pictures. Like I would be on Twitter and I'd be like, why hasn't Snoop posted a
you
picture with
kept
Drew
yelling at me
Linsky?
about pictures.
Or on Instagram, like I need you guys to show me cool stuff because that's the stuff like I can't experience because I'm not there. But it was awesome. I was so happy for you guys.
It was a lot of fun. Even
Oh
Greek
my god.
recognized Snoop. Greek only recognized me that one day, and it did nothing for my Twitch clout. My Twitch clout lasted a whole 10 seconds at TwitchCon, okay? I did
Dang.
have Twitch staff calling me the Kona guy for like the first day on Friday, and then people kind of forgot or just let it go.
Yeah.
Because like I had Twitch staff, and they're like, "Hey, Kona guy." I was like, "Oh, yeah." I didn't post much during TwitchCon. I posted a lot to my Instagram story. I was trying to be really diligent about that,
Yeah.
but even that was just kind of like you get very caught up in it. And thankfully, like
Yeah.
cell service and Wi-Fi wasn't bad this year either. But you just kind of like you forget that you're like it was. I met so many people that I was like, in hindsight now, I'm like, man, I should have got a picture.
Yeah.
But it's just like you meet these people and you're just talking and you're talking and you're talking and you're like, wow. You're like, we're just
Yeah.
BSing it. It's such a weird, surreal thing to like meet a lot of people that you like talk to every day, as weird as that sounds, in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was definitely worth it and a lot of fun.
I was so happy for you guys. I was so happy, pretty jealous. But yeah, I was
Next year.
excited.
Next year. TwitchCon 2019. Everybody's going to be there. And they better have a better chat badge.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
By the way, anybody that wants exclusive merch from TwitchCon, you better get there day one at 7 a.m. You better line up at that door and be one of the first people in line for that obnoxious merch line, because it is bad. We were, no joke, maybe we were in line like once the doors open for like 4 or 5 minutes tops. 4 to 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
We walked in the door, the merch line was obnoxious already.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, we're not missing the keynote for the merch line. Plus the exclusives were like cool, but not cool enough for me to care. And yeah. I got the one shirt that I have to send to Kass. But other than that, that I had to fight people for. Totally joking.
I'm gonna get that emote tattooed on me.
For those of you that can't see at home, it's the cool cat shirt. Yeah. But yeah, seriously, next year, Kass. But yeah, for tonight, where can all the people find you on all the things?
Oh, you guys know I'm MissFatalKisses everywhere, on all the things.
All the things, and we're both going to take a look at our streams and go, what are we doing with our lives over the next few days? Listen to that panel. Do it.
Listen to it, guys.
It will be in the Twitch resources in the Stream Key Podcast Discord. I love all your faces. I'm SnoopHogTV on all the things, and we will see you next week. I have to find somebody to raid as I'm ending the stream without actually ending it, apparently. So that's good. Podcast listeners, this part doesn't really affect you, but you can be in on the mess that is this. Oh my god, nobody's on.
Not a single person?
Everybody's hosting. Why am I? Oh, I'm in my hosting thing. What is happening? Twitch! Sorry, guys. This is welcome to doing Twitch on a regular basis.
You're rusty. You were at TwitchCon.
Yeah, TwitchCon broke me. Oh, Jim Watts is on chat.
Yeah,
playing Dark Souls. Jim Watts was at TwitchCon. Go ask Jim about TwitchCon.
Yeah.
I love your faces. I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing rest of your night and your week. Don't forget, Friday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, they will have Phone In Friday with the rest of the rest. Yes, be there. Go bother Veli and Green. Ask them about TwitchCon. They were both there. I love your faces.
Bye.
We will see you next Wednesday. Good night, everyone.